Take, huh. Got that purple Lamborghini lurking.
Okay, Red Red Nation. Let's go ahead and give this one a shot. Fullmetal Alchemist live action official trailer. Let's just see what let's see what they have in store. We'll talk about something else a little later. Here we go. True. One more time. Let's bring our mom back. But they're Japanese. Okay. Alright. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Whatever. I mean, we've had worse. It's just funny because I just got finished watching Ghost in the Shell a few days ago, and I just think it's kind of funny with anime and anime movies. It's kind of like, I get the controversies on both sides, but I also feel like sometimes we as fans have become a little too nitpicky sometimes about certain things, and sometimes we can't just sit back and enjoy something. The movie looks fine. It's nothing I'm overly excited for. Whatever. I mean, it's fine because I'm basically adjusted to what a Japanese produced movie is gonna look like, and sometimes when watching these movies like Shingeki no Kyojin, and I was so mad about that, but that movie, it looked cool, and the trailers kind of had me for a bit, and you know, the way they put together the trailers are fine, but then as I was sitting there watching it, I was just like, who approves this? The change in the stories and all that. But at the same time, while watching it, it also made me appreciate the Hollywood budget on some of these films. So when Ghost in the Shell came out, I'm like, fuck, man, this looks great. But yet still, it didn't perform well. And still, people had something to complain about. So it's like a no-win situation. It's like, would you have preferred them not to have done the movie at all? So it's kind of the same thing with Fullmetal Alchemist, in some form or fashion. Like, I know people have been complaining about the fact that these kids aren't supposed to be I even forgot their names, but whatever, the kids aren't actually Japanese, right? They're supposed to be like European or something like that. I don't know. So there's a big problem there, but and partially I understand the argument there, but the idea of getting someone, like getting a European person in Japan, remember I live here, getting a European person in Japan that can speak fluent Japanese that appeases to the Japanese audience, you gotta remember who we're, like, what kind of audience we're dealing with. A Japanese audience. Same issue with the Death Note movies, the Netflix version versus the Japanese one. It's kind of like, you just gotta remember who your majority audience is, not your niche audience. And you know, someone did make a really good comment in the fact that if Scarlett Johansson, like, my argument was the fact that Scarlett Johansson is the main reason people went to go see Ghost in the Shell. They wouldn't have made this movie if it wasn't for her. But his argument was the fact that, well, if they made a good story, people would come see the movie anyways. I agree, but at the same time, I think I know, and I think a good amount of us know, the way the industry works is studios don't care about making a good story. Studios just care about putting out, regurgitating, if they may, if they have to, just putting out stuff every month to make sure they fill their quota of movies. They don't care if they're good or bad. They just want to get movies out there so people will come see. We're not always going to... Something somebody once told me a long time ago is like, they can't all be the Dark Knights, basically. They can't always be the Dark Knights. And like, once that standard was set so high for comic book movies, we always kept on expecting something as good, but they can't all be like that. And generally speaking, not every, even Zack Snyder has said it, that not every not everyone is Christopher Nolan. Not everybody has to sway Christopher Nolan, Steven Spielberg, or any high director has to be able to put out a quality product. Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches and roll with the producer punches on top of that, just because they have a deadline, so they put shit out, basically. So anyways, regarding this movie, yeah, maybe I'll check it out one day. I don't know. There'll be a promotional vehicle behind it, I'm sure. Maybe I'll be invited to the screening. Cool. Otherwise, you know, it might have some badass effects at least. At least the effects actually looked really good to me. Red Rat Nation, stand up, speak up. I want to know what your thoughts is on all of this. If you're into it, are you for it? Are you down with the Hanyo, whatever, the Fullmetal Alchemist crown? I want to know. All right. Peace.
All my friends are heathens.